Hello guys, and it's me, Sergey, and we are starting. Okay, where I hear myself? I hear myself here. Okay, great. Here I do not want to hear myself. Here I do not want to hear myself. Chat settings. Okay, nice. Sadly, okay, everyone. We're almost ready. We're almost ready. Give me a couple of seconds and we will go. And okay, I almost posted like I hope everything will be going all right. And yes. It's so complicated. Today I'm practicing. Usually I'm streaming on YouTube. Today I'm practicing on Twitch and X, or Twitch. I have no idea how it should call it now. What we'll be covering today? Today we'll be covering working on my castle environment, which you maybe have seen already. And I will show some tricks. Will show some things related to this environment. So let me open the project. Blender is open. Music can be a little bit less loud. Everything should be nice. I'm checking that on Twitch I see everything properly. Next time, I'm checking how on X I'm changing the translation, but I'm not sure that I can change it retrospectively. Okay. No, this is start point, end point. Why you are Grammatus? Hi, hello, my man. How are you doing? How I change you? No, sadly, as I see on Twitch, I cannot change options to talk in chat retrospectively. Sadly, or I'm just stupid. This is also possible. Yay, Mishka, hello. Ooh, I haven't been watching on this menu from Twitch for a long time, so this is kinda tricky. Okay, so let's stop flooding and let's go to our scene. So yes, again, my name is Sergey Panin, Leoluch, and today I will have for you something interesting, which is our scene. So currently, I'm focusing on the on the gate. And one of the reasons why I shifted, so initially this is my Blender scene. I'm shifted to Blender not so long time ago, so sorry, a scene a little bit messy. So you see I have my collection. Just why is this collection so bad? Oh, I know. Give me a second. Because I started to use collections like that. So you see, I already separated my objects into pieces. This is my scene and update from the last time. So that's how it's going. Let me go to chat. Okay, I'm checking. So yeah, this is how it's going. I'm working on separate scene, as you see. Which I'm calling gym because it's a little bit easier this way to manage content production on everything. And right now, if I will play from here, that's how it's going. So you see, feeling pretty all right. So we see here's Talibov. Hello. Yeah, I tried this floor. I'm still experimenting with this one because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want with this one. But let's see. Let's see how it will go. So this is very temporal material. You see, I just assigned wood tileable even without proper UV because I wanted to have proper color. I will not even call this material. Bridge in a pretty good condition. Still not sure about this one. I was trying different thing. I had it simpler. I had it more complex. I'm not sure because as I said, I'm still designing some things here. And with this kind of big scenes, one of the issue is becoming a real problem is that like that scene is so big that you are losing the focus. So every time you need to take yourself and a little bit like limit what you're doing right now. And one of the ways to focus was to switch to the side of the bridge. And you see I done pretty complex setup here. This especially working if you will have a water here. So this is kind of pre-painted. So because yeah, this is level instance. I can show you this on the level. And there are some interesting tricks there, which I want to show. They can be kind of interesting. Let's go to Sigmar Castle. I saw on Twitter the other day, and I'm curious about the modular pieces you made for the castle. Oh yeah, that's we can cover. I think I will show the whole pipeline today because this will be my main pipeline for a lot of pieces, and even for. Well, today I will show some tricks because I'm already using this pipeline for some of my columns, some of my these elements you see. They're pretty dense, not amazingly dense. Like it can be more smart, it can be less smart, but this is my pipeline for these pieces. So they're pretty high poly, but they use the same materials. And so yeah, I will cover this today on one of these column pieces. I will decide, will I take this one or maybe I'll take this one. I was trying some things. Let's see how it will go. But first let me cover this one. So you see, in context, this part looking much better. And I wanted to create these kind of wet effects that you have dirt, you have grime, and it's like covered. I know how to push it even more, but I think that's already pretty solid result from this position. And I also, the only thing which I will need to sculpt it like this holder, like this kind of, not niche, not alcove, how to call it? Console, yeah. This console holding the element, but in general, yeah, I think this is already feeling pretty nice. Still a lot of things to cover, but I think it's getting there. So what's interesting happening here? So here, I decided to go with pretty complex setup of using custom primitive data and mesh painting. So this mesh, you see, has mesh paint. This is pretty simple, but custom primitive data is pretty tricky here. So the point. Hi there, awesome you stream the process, it looks so good. I'm especially curious about your unwrapping process for the high polar models. Are you using transfer UVs by any chance? Savage, hello, Freezer, hello. So, I developed my own very strange way to work with nanite content, and it mostly works. I will cover it today. Murderpal, hello. Let's cover this one. Custom primitive data. So this is just world align gradient, and you see what it's doing. If we go here, you'll see. You see, color is changing. Not too much. It's more visible on new pieces. You see? Whoop. This, yeah, and this is especially visible. You see? So I can manually tweak their per mesh. So that gives me opportunity to create some kind of variation, and then I combine it with mesh paint. I think blue channel, like, this is the only problem with my setup. I have so many things that it's very easy to forget what I was doing. Okay, yeah, so you see, if I'm painting a little bit more, it's adding this gradient color. So yeah, it's kind of interesting trick using gradient mapping in Unreal. I think it's working very good for something like that. Maybe I will use gradient a little bit simpler later, but that was like pretty nice trick. Let me remind myself. So yeah, green channel here is just creating some dirt. You see, like, it's adding a lot of this color variety into the module. And as I said, I have control of the ambient occlusion per mesh. So for example, this one will not be the same as this one. So if something closer to water or to the coastline, I can control what's happening here. And as I said, I have control of the dirt effect strength. And also you see it's affecting gradient, and this is pivot offset. So for example, if my water level will be on different mesh in different position, I can control it. So yeah, I think it's worked kind of nice. And that's how I done this bottom line, and I think it's really giving a lot of things. So how I done it, because like I'm just showing and not only telling, not showing, right? My setup not very clean up, not the worst, but not the most cleaned. So I will be covering what's happening here. So I have a couple of blending of tileable materials. For example, in this case, I have this tileable material castle wall, and I have this eroded stones. This is mostly acting as a plaster, not as eroded stone. And I have this secondary wall, which is looking like that. So you see, it's like a kind of two type of stones and mud. And in this case, I done some tint of the plaster. So plaster technique. So because I'm using the same setup almost in the whole scene, and I didn't want to create a new texture, so I'm using my plaster as a dirt with just shift of the color. So this is my basic setup. I'm just blending two materials, and then like this lives. So gradient stuff, I think it's the most interesting in this case. So how gradient work? I'm not using gradient in Unreal too often, but I think for this kind of case, it was pretty cool. You see, the gradient is looking like that. This is very small texture with different colors. You can have more complicated setup, but for personal project, I do not see any reason to do more complex setup. So here we go. And this gradient, so it's mapped to combination of different things. So here I'm taking world coordinate of my mesh by this setup. So mostly I'm taking gradient from one level to another level on my mesh. So this is by like base. Then I multiply it by mesh paint green. You see, I'm using portal nodes in Unreal, so which is add named reroute declaration node. And because otherwise it will be very messy, I created my setup of mesh paint blue, R vertex paint ambient occlusion. So all my meshes, just spoiler ahead, all my meshes across the whole project, I have ambient occlusion baked into my meshes. And this can sound crazy, but it's really cool. Because I'm very heavy in this project on nanite, I have enough polygons to save vertex data into color. So all my meshes, like all of them, so dense that I'm using ambient occlusion saved into vertex painting. United murder pole, hello. So and this is very beneficial because you have ambient occlusion per mesh. You can use this almost like a generator, right? So I'm using this ambient occlusion here, you see. For example, I have manual control of the ambient occlusion power. So I take in gradient of the mesh, I'm taking a little bit of mesh painting, and I'm taking ambient occlusion, blending them together and do gradient mapping. So if you're not aware of what is gradient mapping, you can do this in Photoshop. In Unreal, it's working maybe less smart, but almost the same. And then I'm overlaying this gradient on top of my existing color. And this creating this kind of very, you see, like, this may be not perfect. This is something what I can polish a little bit later, but you get the point that it's not uniform color. See? It's not like just making it darker or just making it lighter. It's making it less saturated, more saturated with greenish, which I think, like, as I said, working pretty nice for this bottom part. And that's how this setup done. So I think it's pretty smart. But let's go to my basic setup of the castle. Just wanted to show this bottom part because it's pretty cool. So how I'm doing the whole setup with this one. I will take piece which is very easy to work on, otherwise it will be a little bit tricky. So today I think we will talk a little bit more about pipeline and less about like practical work. But no, I think we can do this piece. You see, right now these pieces do not have any plaster, do not have any effect, and because of that they're looking kind of meh. So let's make them not to look meh, let's make them to look pretty nice. So I will go to my tower setup, my tower collection, and you see I have this module. So let me parent. So this is the parent of this one. So it's called SM Sigmar Castle Tower Mid B segment niche. And let's make it look good. I'm just checking that I'm using the... first of all, let me switch the scene to Gym 1. Well, as I said, I'm working on separate map because in this case performance much better. It's just easier when you have separate maps. So for example, when you're working with this kind of like pre-assemblies, how I call them, I would recommend to use separate gym. In this case, you have better performance, easier to track your content, and then I'm going to the scene when I need to work on the scene. So everything here I'll assemble out of level instances. So this is level instance, this bridge level instance, gate is level instance with level instances inside. So yeah, setup a little bit too complicated, but well, that's what we have. Okay, so this is current module, which is my first iteration of module, which technically what I'm doing. So I'm taking this thing, I'm mapping this on tileable texture. So this is my tileable texture, right? So this is my tileable texture. I do not really care about where I have my seam with this texture, but seam should be going on the line of the brick. So I'm not really care about metrics in this project because it's kind of unique one. Not the best approach. I will be agree to say that it's not the most right way of doing things. But well, in our case, we can live with this. So I have this one, and then in Unreal, I'm using displacement. Right now, I will show this in here. So displacement, displace, normal. But I will show you how I'm doing this a little bit more practical. But just to show the general idea. Is it this texture? Let me. Not this texture, this texture. Not this one. Let me find. No, this is not textures comp texture. We need to go to my project, search Sigmar, textures. castle wall, and here I have a couple of castle walls. Which one I need? I think main wall new. Is it this one? I don't remember. Because I'm not right now not using a lot of displacement in. I don't think so. Subdivision. Well, it's not this one. So why do you work in Blender but not in Maya? Why I switched to Maya? Because in Blender, like, first of all, I'm just practicing myself to, or I will be ready to leave Blender right now when my level in Blender will be the same level as my Maya level. Right now, I'm modeling in Blender slower than in Maya. And I do not want this to happen, so I decided that I want to practice more. And even when I'm suffering, and sometimes I'm really suffering with Blender, I'm still forcing myself to continue suffering, you know? Okay, this one. So I think this matching, but I think you get the point. So I'm taking like height map, I'm using displacement, and as I said, we'll do this in ZBrush in a second. So this pipeline, this is my first stage of work. I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but you see the problem of this pipeline is that it's pretty limited, right? So you done, it's free. Yeah, another very, very good point. So this approach is cool. You have real geometry, you can control it. And for example, I will show, maybe not today, but in general, like using height maps and modeling can be very flexible. The problem that you have locked mesh, so you cannot create too many variations, right? And let's imagine that I want to create a very big wall with a lot of variation, and in this case, I cannot do it. So that's why I started investigating like and how I can do this, how I can do a little bit better pipeline and do a mesh, which will make me happy. And yeah, mostly like how I do the pipeline in which I will have customizable mesh with this pre-displacement, with nice polygon count, because I want to save a lot of ambient occlusion data. So I have a lot of questions. How I want to do this, how I want to do this. So that's why I started trying with ZBrush. You can do this with Houdini, but yeah, in my case, I'm working into ZBrush. Let me decide which work file I want. I think I want this work file. Okay, we have more. Sorry that I'm checking phone because there are too many info which I need to check. Other than your own, what does the typical pipeline looks like for this type of meshes? This depends. Like, I think right now there are no one way how to do this. You can do like some people using geonodes in Blender. You can use Blender displacement. I'm using Blender displacement, for example. For roof. This is just like Blender displacement, and this is already looking solid. And I do not need to create a lot of variation here. So it's just like height map, displacement, desummation, normal recalculation, and that's all. And it's looking great. Like, it's really looking great. I just need to do a little bit better vertex painting, well, mesh painting, and it will look good enough. So you see, it's coming from the problem. So why going with such complex setup? Because I have very big wall which uses the same tileable materials. I want a lot of volume and I do not want to have a repetition. So this is pretty complicated tasks. That's why I ended with this one. But I think right now with Nanites there are no one way how to do this. I think there are very different approaches. It's really affected, like, do you have Houdini, do not have Houdini? Let me check. Is stream going? Stream going, okay. Oh, favorite question. Do you think Blender is better than Maya? I tried to learn Blender too, but for now I don't see many pros comparing to Maya. Love modifiers, GameNote and UI, but hate UV editor. For now I work without add-ons. Like, without add-ons it's awful, like literally awful. Like Maya, like the main point, and I agree, that Maya is not free when Blender is free. This is the biggest difference, and this is very fair point, right? And GeoNodes is something what I really like in Blender, but in reality, I think I do not get this discussion about. I, I do not really get this point about discussion like what really better or faster. Because this is not the point. Like, modeling is very small part of the pipeline. You need to create materials, you need to think about modularity, you need to work in engine. Like, modeling is really not that important. Like, you need to be able to work fast, but in reality, in one moment, it doesn't really is that important where you're modeling, because if you can do good models, you can do it in any software. And yeah, it's really doesn't really matter. Okay, so we have this module. You see, I haven't changed anything. Here, you see it's displaced, but let's discuss how we can make it look a little bit more interesting. So I will go to this module, open source location. It's called Sigmar Tower, blah, blah, blah. So let's import FBX, import here. Not here. Whoop. Whoop. You see my modularity here already a little bit big, because I have this project with, well, a lot of pieces, like really a lot. Okay, so why is this happening? This means that this mesh has two UV channels, and ZBrush do not like two UV channels. So let's check that. Why you have two UV channels? In which moment I created two UV channels for you? Then UV, two. Okay, why I have two UV channels for you? This is a very interesting question. I think I was experimenting with something. That's one we do not need. So this should be our tileable. You see, because I have so many pieces already, sometimes just forget that I'm working on something. And export FBX to Unreal. We'll go to ZBrush, delete all, okay, import. Okay, this one haven't do not have UVs. I do not really care about this moment. I mostly want to work with this one. It has a hole here. Can we live with this? I would recommend. So this is something what I will try to fix, because it's not great that we have this kind of issues. So you see, this is maybe one problem of this pipeline. Like, you need to prepare meshes a lot, otherwise you will have a lot of not very nice artifacts. So preparation of the meshes a little bit time consuming here, but it makes sense. Like, if you will have dirty mesh, you will have a lot of problems. So, and well, I can fix this artifact also. I have no idea why I have second UV channel. Maybe I copied the initial mesh. Do not ask me. I do not know. Mostly, like, for me, biggest problem in Blender is sync UVs. Like, sync UVs is awful. I really, really do not like it. And especially because you're using so many tiling, yeah, it's becoming a problem. My Blender, like, even that I'm working professionally on Blender, I think, like, 1 year or something. I was learning it before, and I'm modeling for a long time. But, like, professionally, I would say in Blender, only for 1 year. It's my UI, my setup is just abomination. completely not fun abomination, because I have concept art plugins, regular plugins, like... Okay, so setup is ready. So this is our initial wall. These guys I will not be displacing right now, maybe later. And what I will be doing, if I will just do subdivide, you see it's doing this. We do not want this. And even if we will crease polygroups, you see crease polygroups helping in some cases, but not all of them. So mostly before doing a lot of subdivision, and I'm doing a lot of subdivision for this case, I turn off smoothing and boom, 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 boom. 1 million, 3 million polygons for something like that will be more than enough. Yeah, I'm agree. Transferring UVs in Maya better. I was hoping to make it work properly in Blender, but not for now. But every time, I'm not sure that maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I do not know something. Ooh, who knows? Okay, so we have this piece. Then I'm duplicating this one. So this is my safe mesh. I will save it safe mesh. Duplicate this one. This will be our initial mesh with displacement. So I'm going to displacement. So right now we are using this wall. We'll be using another one. Import. And we need to go to Church Sigmar, textures, castle walls. This is my main texture, and you see test, of course, your most important one. And we are interested in this one, which is main wall. This is bottom floor, plaster wall, secondary wall. Am I using this one? Stone wall flipped. Let me check. No, this is not this one. Okay, let me go to this one and go to here. And which was the name of my displacement map? Main wall new. Smart. Okay, let's go to main wall new. Main wall new. Okay, this one. Okay, yeah, now it's mentioned. So, why it's so tricky? Will there be a recording of the stream available to watch later? I think so. I was planning to upload this stuff to my YouTube. I think I will be streaming for Twitch and X for a while. Let's see, like, make it sense to stream on X or not, I do not know. Twitch will exist. And then recording, I think, will be going to my YouTube channel because it will give me opportunity to, like, yeah, assemble data. So, now we have first displacement. And we can balance it properly. So you see, when I apply displacement map, we have displaced mesh. Nice, right? Nice. Nothing to say. Great mesh. Let's turn off texture. So you see, it has. We do not want blue color. It has very nice displacement. This noise is something not really that important, and I will do some work on top. I usually get the notification from YouTube, but you didn't stream on YouTube today, did you? Yes, today, because like on YouTube, I have two YouTubes, like English speaking one and a Russian speaking one. On the Russian speaking one, I will not be streaming on English. That's why I decided to go on Twitch and X, so I can separate platforms. I do not see, I think as a streaming platform, it's better to stream on Twitch and X and then upload recording to English speaking YouTube. For me, it makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the plan, at least for now. Okay, so you see, nice displaced mesh. Now I'll go to my safe mesh again and duplicate it again. And this we can call stone mesh. It's folder. Folder will be useful. Let's stone mesh. And this is, let's call this folder, how will call this folder? Rename folder. Walls. Let's call it walls, why not? Now we go to this one. And I have another displacement map. And now I have options. What do you see? But you see, I have secondary wall, and yeah, like for a while, a lot of people was asking me to start streaming or to have some, and sadly, I don't have time to have recording. So right now, I decided that I will be shifting. So I will still continue for a while streaming in Russian, but I will start switching between Russian and English. So, and right now, truth be told, I'm pretty busy with work. So I will try to find a balance, but I hope it will be possible to make something nice. Okay, so you see, import here, secondary wall flipped. And this is like this kind of wall. This is my secondary tile. And you maybe have questioned why I have underscore flipped. So the reason why I have underscore flipped in my height map, because ZBrush flipping imported textures so vertically, and old pipeline, I don't even remember how to fix it properly. There are like proper way to fix it. You see, you can like import your alpha, flip it, then use it here in texture map, but you cannot flip it here. So yeah, ZBrush can be confusing, but you need to flip your displacement map, otherwise it will not align with your texture later, because this is the main point. I want this mesh to align with my tileable texture later. Okay, so what I will be doing, as I said, we're doing the same. We're creating another displaced mesh. Is it already displaced or not? No. Apply displacement mesh. And you see, now I have two displaced mesh. Maybe this is not intense enough. So sometimes you need to play with middle sector. But we will be manually tweaking stone, so we will get what we want. And again, now we create another one, duplicate another mesh, and this will be plaster. So I'm going again to displacement, and guess what? I'm importing another texture, which is plaster wall flipped. So now yeah, let's do this one, because you need to have texture to show plaster wall flipped. Okay, so this is my wall, and now I want to do displacement. Maybe a little bit aggressive displacement, but yeah, I think, no, I don't want to have aggressive, something like that. Apply displacement now. Okay, so now we have set up. And we have 3 real geometry meshes with a lot of volume, very cool one. And like this will be used as my final one. Okay, so now I want to create cool module, and as we see, it will be nice to have a lot of this plaster in the corners here, right? These corners. Maybe not so much plaster here, and maybe a little bit of stone. This is one thing which I was planning to change, maybe to combine not this kind of stone. Let's name this. Yeah. So not this kind of stone, but maybe another variation of this stone. So there are pretty a lot of cool ideas how you can work with this one. But now we want to create a cool looking module out of 3 height maps. So I'm using polypaint. I will be using polypaint as my masking for later. So I'm going to move, fill objects, go here, blue color now, or green color, fill object, and right now we do not see the color because we need to do this. Nice. Because it was using texture, and when it's using texture, it's not showing. And now we have this one. Again, we do not want to see texture, but we want to be this blue. And this is my setup. So blue is plaster, green is secondary material, and red I'm not using. Red I'm overwriting later on ambient occlusion, but I create red mostly it's to be red, so it's like, and then it's not really important what color will be on my red object. It should be not green or not to be blue. So now we're ready to do blending, you see? So this is my blend right now, really cool. So this is kind of a masking approach without... So if you're familiar with masking approach, this is masking approach in a way, but in this very strange pipeline, I'm creating masks in vertex data and real geometry. So now I want to create cool looking blend, and as I said, in this cool looking blend, I want to see more plaster on the corners, and I want maybe to see some stones here and there, and or corners, I mostly want to be them as stones, so we'll not be touching them. So I'm going to move brush, and I'm doing this. You can even cut geometry, I guess, but mostly I start moving stuff. And what's cool with this one, you also can even modify a shape of a brick. So this is your high poly, right? But you are not obligated completely to follow it. Yes, you will have some normal information. I tried both approaches. In one approach, I was using just... So, for example, do we need to assign tileable texture here of initial brickstone, or it can be just tileable of a stone? And I tried both. Truebitals just assigning tileable surface of the stone looking pretty great on this one. But I decided to follow the brick tileable texture because in this case I can have a little bit more color variety. So mostly we're doing this. I'm removing my stones to see a little bit more of these fantastic green stones, and to have this blending pretty realistic and cool. Just move it. Maybe this brick can stay. It will be cool that we see one brick maybe. Okay. How are you doing, guys? Like, I don't know how many people in chat, how many can write, so please write to me. How are you doing? How's your day? Where are you from? How's the weather? Is it rainy? Is it shiny? Like right now, it's pretty cool in the world right now. We're happening two kind of weathers. I feel like we have or insane rains or insane heat. Very hot. Okay. It's kind of cold here already. Like today, it was like at the evening yesterday after all the rains, it was plus 16. Hey, inspiring stuff from Belgium, by the way. Awesome! I just have been in Belgium not long time ago, and it's a day it will be plus 30, but today plus 20. Okay, Arvid, it's great. I really enjoyed Belgium. I haven't waited how many cool, and some of my references are from Belgium. I haven't waited how many cool neo-Gothic, well, it's kind of Gothic / neo-Gothic art there in architecture. So this main place, like how to call it, I don't remember. Give me a second. I want to use proper name. I do not want to offend culture, right? Photo library, architecture, buildings, Belgium, Brussels, Gothic, Grand Place, right? So Grand Place was awesome. So we moved red bricks here from Azerbaijan. Ooh, if you haven't visited, try Antwerpen. It's really nice city from architecture side. There are so many, like, this is my main problem with Finland. No offense to anyone. There are not too much nice architecture here. There are some very, very legendary one, especially if you like... Oh yeah, Belgium has plenty color churches. Yeah, like, they're like insanely good. Like, very, very... Like, I was going for a trip for Art Nouveau, but I think in the end I enjoyed medieval architecture much more. Like, really much more. It's also Belgium by train. Yeah, like, next time, if I'll be going to Belgium, I will be going through different, like, smaller towns. Because I have here, there are, like, at least a couple which still have a lot of cool architecture. So you see what I'm doing right now? I'm moving stones, and what I really do not like with hide blend, But what I really like with this approach is that I can avoid this kind of issues. So in real life, this will not look realistically, right? Because you have one stone and it's clashing with another stone. So in this case, I can or do this. So it's like still following the shape of original stone. And I'm moving here, and then I'm moving plaster a little bit more. So you see, and we're covering this with real geometry. So this is how you should visit Gent. Yes, Gent, exactly. I didn't remember his name. I really want, like, I really want to see it. Sadly for me, like, I'm far away in Finland, so every trip should be... I cannot, like, randomly just went and go. But so yeah, like, plus 40 in Azerbaijan, it sounds terrifying. So yeah, nice. So you see, that's what I'm doing, and that's like the main point of the whole pipeline, that you see I can control how many plaster, where I want to have this plaster. Bloxel, hello my man, how are you doing? How is the barrel? Barrel in our soul, right? Never go without a barrel. No 3D without barrel. Okay, so you see more and more. I'm trying not to rush. I'm borrow forever. Come on, the brush. This is one maybe not the smartest thing from my side, that I'm trying to save a lot of. How much you decimate this model before expert to Unreal? For something like this module. Hey, what's up? Hey, Alex. All good. Like, we're doing very strange pipelines as I like. So I decimate these, like this module, I think around 1 million, maybe half of the million will be enough. Mostly because why not? Like, very much this pipeline about, like, why not? That. And also you want to save information about mask, because you're saving like your mask information into vertices, so you need a lot of vertices. But it's case by case. In some cases I can have a little bit like more. I think 10% decimation for 3 millions will be maybe too much, so I think for something like that it will be 20-25% decimation for this one. And as I said before, one of the cool things, so for example, I do not like maybe that this stone so eroded, so I can go to clay or trim polish. Let's use clay. I'm going to clay and a little bit like smoothing this one. So when we'll have decimation, it will not be so sharp, and that's what gives me to add a little bit of variety into my stone wall, even on geometry level. Yes, it will be the same tileable texture, but, and that's why I said that maybe better to use stone surface tileable, not the wall tileable. I'm still not, you see, I'm trying not to break the shape. And maybe here I want to do this, like, I'm like destroying rock more intensively. I don't like how this works without square alpha, our fantastic square alpha, right? Nothing is better than square alpha. And let's go to plaster, move a little bit of plaster, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you see now I created kind of this shape. I still haven't decided how much longer I should work on it. So for me, this is already pretty cool model. So you see, it has variety here, maybe a little bit more plaster here and there. This is something maybe what I can improve. Add plaster here, plaster there. Right, just to be a little bit more messy, especially on the connection areas. This is not the greatest module because if it allows you to bake all this information into vertex color, why on earth can't we still paint it in Unreal with Nanite? The main problem is compression. Mostly compression pretty aggressive. and compression for mask are looking fine, and when it's polypaint it's not fine. I tried it with polypaint. Initially, as a whole pipeline, as the whole idea of the pipeline started from my scanning things. We will continue. First, let's go to safe mesh. So let's turn this on. So we have these 3 meshes. Now we have our safe mesh. I will duplicate this safe mesh. I will call it project mesh. And to project mesh, we need to be sure that it's like behind all the meshes, otherwise we'll have some artifacts. We see no issues. We do not see our project mesh. Where's not texture map off. So we see like project mesh is behind, so all projection will be working nicely. We're going, and like as I said, this is the main point. Like it has UVs, it have everything. It's properly subdivided. Distance, I think 0.4. We need the farthest point and outer projection. So now we can click project all, always yes, and it's projection. So I need to open my ArtStation to describe how the whole idea appeared. So if you remember, I had very strange project because like, well, I love strange projects, right? So when I was printing and scanning my miniature, and when I scanned this one, I have, this is like vertex data initially. So I tried this, so it's like super detailed scan in Unreal, which I tested with the night mesh with just polypaint. So because when you're scanning, you have polypaint data, I was like, why not to try? And it was looking really good. So I was like, that's interesting. So I can have very detailed mesh, have projection texture, drop it in nanite, and still look okay. And it's really looked okay. Like the biggest issue was that like it's compressing it very aggressively when you're far away. I don't see why we can't just paint it inside the engine. Well, you can. Technically, like you can, if you want to paint, you can paint all this data. The biggest issue why doing it this way, because I also have to have geometry, right? So yeah, projection, by the way, is done. So you see, this is, let's have solo mode. So you see, this is my projection, which looking really nice. And this is the moment which I'm not completely sure what I want to do about it. Because as I said, I'm still deciding. So my main concern, well, I don't know, like, is it correct to say concern or not? It's feel a little bit of these edges. So as I said, I still haven't decided do I want to do this. So what I want to do, go to borders, mask by feature, invert, and then to do this. Why to do this? Because in this case, when you start using your modules, you will have some kind of, especially with stones. Right now, you see one of the problems that you have is this, right? Because you have like very detailed plane, and not to have any holes, you need to have very nicely aligned modules, which not happening with this kind of displacement because, yeah, it's not following the whole sheet. So yeah, this is a question, do I want to do this or not? Mostly, I don't see any problems to have this, because, yeah, why not? It does not require a lot, even when it's messy. Another solution, like just to place any kind of mesh inside. So that's how I done with my castle wall, this one. So you see, I do not really care about the seams, because I have here very big, very low poly mesh, so it's kind of working as a cover to these holes. I really do not know what will be the best way. I'm still thinking, because like technically this looks odd to me, but it sounds as the best solution. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's have it in this module, because why not? As I said, I'm not really care about this case, because we have all these like additional meshes which will be covered on top. Yeah, this is maybe why I need. But do I need to have plaster? Not sure. So now we just need to decimate. So we go to decimation master, Let's have 25%, as I said. I think it will be enough. Why it will be 70? Maybe 20. Freeze borders, keep UVs, use and keep poly paint, press process current. So about painting, like, you can, but you will not have like displacement of the geometry. And right now, this is the only reason why I'm doing the whole process in ZBrush, because in this case, I'm offsetting my geometry. Okay. Unreal disables the painting button if I enable Nanite, because you need to do... Man, why have we been asking this question before? If you want to paint in Unreal, you just need to know some magic. So let's do some magic. Which module, like, I'm ready to lose? I'm ready to lose this module. So we go to this one. You need to go to modeling mode. You need to go to attributes. You need to go to paint vertex color, because you're painting it per mesh. Then you wait, because like this is Unreal, and you need to wait every time when you do anything. Okay, so you see I have like these fantastic colors. I'm really curious about the pipeline used in games like Demon's Souls, Dark Souls, Elden Ring. Like, they have the most classical pipeline. Like, in my opinion, Demon engines have the more sophisticated one. Like from what I see, it's one of the most simpler one. So, and now let's go to unlit vertex color, and you see I have this blue color. I will not be saving this vertex color, but I can now go here and write like Alex. Oh no. This is my hurt for you. So now you can paint, and more than that, you have even flat fill connected, flat fill groups, and you have polylasso. Like, we don't have even regular polylasso. Now you are Lex. So, well, I think you get the point. So yes, you can. You just need to use very strange paint vertex color in attributes, because with Nanite. Because you cannot paint it per instance, but you still can paint it per mesh. Okay, so decimated mesh, decimate current. Beautiful, yes, right. Okay, so whoop. As I said, we're not really care what's happening with these meshes, because this is mostly to cover. Maybe it's better to do some knife. Let's do just... I'm not sure this is a good option. This is something what I still need to figure out. Oh, it's covering it. I don't like it. If I will do Control V, and if I will do slicing, because I do not want it to be so chaotic. I want it to be a little bit better. Slicing the mesh. And now we... Whoop. Okay, this is better. Still not perfect. As I said, this is something what I'm still trying to figure out how better to do. But let's delete hidden. So we have now we have our fantastic module. And you see, this is a little bit too much. So this module definitely can have less polygons. And you see we have problem with one projection. It's too far away. But in general, yeah, only one stone have problem, as I see. So it's better to change it. It means that the distance was a little bit low, but in general, pretty nice module. So let's continue with this one, just to show how to be going. Okay, now we go FBX expert, and this is the case because this module, and this is like our option, right? We can or export this already in Unreal and use it as it is, or we can drop it in Blender. If I will be dropping this in Blender, I will definitely reduce amount of polygons. This is still too much. I think density should be like something like that. This is okay density. This is a little bit too much. And this is coming from a little bit too noisy height map. And personally, I think what I should do for this project before pushing like the whole pipe, and this may be why I haven't been pushing this pipeline too much, because I see these small issues which I need to fix before pushing it more. Like for example, this surface, this height map, a little bit too noisy. Yes, it has some nice details, but some details are too much. I think height map should be, if we go to the scans, this is too much. This is good. So you see, it has a little bit less noise. It has more shaped surface. And this one also like less noisy. I do not like how this height map has a little bit too much of these drops between black and white values. Especially, you see it's causing these issues. Like, so I think this height map can have a little bit more work before using this pipeline. And that's what I should do, but I haven't done. That's why maybe I'm not pushing the whole process too much. So yeah, nice. As I said, let's export everything. So we can have this one, and this one. We can stop solo. And here we can even avoid amount of geometry. So yes, this is a question. How we want to act with this one? Do I want to displace it a little bit? I guess. But it has problems with styling. No, let's drop this just for curiosity. Let's drop this in Blender and let's see how Blender will it eat this or not. I'm not sure, because usually, like personally, I would export this into Unreal already, because Unreal will have no issues with that. Blender, not so sure, but for sake of experimentation, let's export this one. Export castle wall. No. So for this one, you see I have meshes, I have castle, and work files. Or, well, yes, this is castle, and this is definitely work files. Work files, and this is, let's create a folder tower. I have times when Maya can't even load it, but Blender without any issues. But it's also happening the opposite, that sometimes Maya has less issue when Maya has less issue when Blender has issue with amount of geometry. I'm not really sure what's happening. So SM wall mid section underscore A. Okay, right? Well, this is temporal file, so I'm fine with that. So you see, it's not that bad. Come on. So yeah, as I said before, like I'm feeling Demon Soul, like Dark Souls, Elden Rings are pretty simple in pipeline. Demon Souls has more sophisticated, but a lot of ideas there are not like that. And that was one of the options how I can work with this project. So you see, even here, this is from Decagon pack. Maybe I have already some of my bricks. So this, like, I have this, and then I'm also kit bashing this with top of. One day it will become an industry standard. Well, why not? This is like really, I don't really see too many big problems with this project. Okay, so let's go here. This is our module, and let's drop our abomination. First we save. Well, never do anything without saving your stuff in advance. 54 megabits. This is a little bit too much in my opinion, so it's not that bad in reality, but I will be trying to have it a little bit lighter. As I said, I think like when I see this, I can easily reduce amount of polygons double, because right now there are not a lot of value in a lot of these polygons. This noise mostly will be even bad for us. But oh yeah, okay, well, maybe yes, maybe no, who knows. Blender. Okay, so you see, it's haven't crashed. That's already good. And it's here. It's rotating. It's good. Classical problem, I guess, right? I'm just checking one thing. No, okay, so go up. I need to check something. So I need to go up 4 meters and 70 and a half, 7.5. We go 7.5. Go 4 here. Okay, nice. There is becoming like this moment of questions, let's call it this way. First, do you want to do cleanup or not? Because sometimes I do clean up with Blender, but for example, again, this mesh, yeah, and also like this is something what I'll be trying to fix. Not for this demo because it will be a little bit too long, but just show you like cases when you see there's some not great things happening. I don't think anything here is not fixable. Like everything you see, like all these issues are pretty easy to fix. But I would personally recommend to fix it. Okay, so now add to group. Add to group. This going out of the group. Clean and keep transformation. Select parent. Assign proper material. My proper material for this one, MI castle wall, because right now it's using ZBrush materials. So we need MI castle wall because we want the same material. And I'm going to parent, and this is my mesh. I can even like remap this one, displace this one. I will not be doing this because that wasn't my goal for today. Okay, well, it was fast. I was waiting for much worse. Okay, now we go and now we re-import. Next time, as I said, I will try. I don't know how many people like really watching on X on Twitter. So in any case, hello. I really appreciate your joining today. Next time I will check how to turn on chat. Like I have never streamed on X before. But as I said, thank you. Thank you for being here. This is the moment when I think USD will be better to use, because with USD it will be faster. FBX are not that fast. And now it's preparing mesh, so we can wait while it's preparing mesh. And you see I have pieces here, and for example, I'm using this approach. Yeah, and that's how default setup of this module is looking. So you see, yeah, this is thing which I will need to fix, but it's in general it working, right? So let's go to this module, and yes, it's static mesh. We need to go now to modeling mode, and I have created my own setup. So you see I have bake vertex colors. Come on. Yeah, personally, I think I should fix this moment. Well, I will continue working with this module on the background. Let me fix all these issues with projection and decimation. And I'm not sure. I'm scrolling before projection. Before projection, after projection. for projection, and we understood that we need a little bit more of distance, 2.6, and then disseminated thing. And we need to hide all other meshes because we do not want to have problem with them projectile. It's kind of fast, so why not to do this? Okay, so you see we have bake here. I have done my own preset, medieval preset, which is baking ambient occlusion in red channel and curvature in alpha channel. One thing which I'm changing, I'm using what about Steampunk you did before? We will come back to it later. We will come back to Steampunk Street when I will be done with this one. So Steampunk Street, live with me. We will go back to it when we will be done with this project. So I hope to. I don't know when I will finish this castle. I hope this castle will not finish me. So we want to have here 0.5. So it just will make my curvature a little bit more visible. So you have option what you are baking in your curvature when you're baking curvature. Truth be told, I'm not impressed how curvature baked in Unreal. I think this is something what I'm not sure. Like ambient occlusion, useful, really useful. Ambient occlusion, not so much. Green channel and blue channel we're not touching here because you see we have green and blue channel mask already like locked. We done this in ZBrush. We only overwrite in red channel. Do you find convenient to place the pivot points for round objects like this? I'm asking because I usually put it at the center of the cylinder. It's easier to rotate them. So I think in this case, this is case by case. Initially, I wanted to have a pivot like how I placed it and use it in the RBP. So my approach, I will show this trick. And I will describe a reason why I like it this way. And you see, this is baked. And this is looking pretty nice. Pretty nice module. There's a lot of stuff happening. Curvature a little bit too intense. So I can change it. But you see, we have pretty cool module. Maybe I a little bit overdone it with plaster. But yeah, this is my module. And it's looking pretty nice. And I can create a variety of these modules. They're using the same material, and because of that, they're working pretty nice. So regarding rotational objects, so I'm every time like I do not have one solution which I think working in all cases for round modules. Sometimes but think like it's easier to use pivot in the middle. Initially. Oh no, it will crash. So, why it crashed? So, this is bug which I hope they will fix. When you using level instance and using modeling mode, you need to switch into normal mode before leaving level instance. I have no idea why, but it's crashing Unreal in like very stably. In 100% of times, it's crashing Unreal. So when you're working on level instance and using baking, do not forget to press Shift 1, which is hotkey to switch to normal mode. But yay! That's how it crashed it. Sadly, that's how it go. But well, meanwhile, I can continue my projection story here. Interesting that like plaster was. Oh, I know why plaster a little bit too aggressive. Because setup. Well, we'll fix it. Okay, so this is my projection, and I can go to dissummation again. So you see, overall pipeline is pretty flexible. You can like, yeah, I do not like this one. Fix it. So we see that I fixed. There no issue with this one, right? We can even try to polish feature. No, this polish will be too strong. Well, maybe not so bad, right? So maybe this will reduce a little bit of noise. So, well, I don't see it to be problems in this. I was waiting it will be much worse, because usually polish are pretty aggressive, but no. I think maybe, yeah, one polish will be nice for this one. And as we just discussed, that the summation 20 was a little bit too much, so I can use the summation 10, right? Yeah. And maybe we'll do this border edge later, not now. Let's go to decimate, prepress, and we can go back to this module meanwhile. You can optimize this process with Houdini. This is something what completely doable, but yeah. So let's go back to this discussion with round modules. So we have this module, and my initial setup was with blueprints. So I have blueprint in which I have module on proper distance. So come on, blueprint. So I have this blueprint, and in this blueprint, so I have a pivot here, and I have module so mostly like this module moved 400, so I know that it's rotatable on 400 centimeters, and I just rotate it this way. I can change it on another module, and what's good is that I can create a different variations of this module. For example, if I want to use the same module for a bigger radius, I can create a variation for bigger radius. So it's more flexible than one locked pivot, right? Because you're rotating the BP and it's working pretty nice. However, RBPs, I mean blueprints, in combination with level instances not working properly in Unreal right now. They are not saving some information, which sucks, but sadly that's how it goes currently. So yeah, like that's why I needed to use this pivot, and first I done this pivot. So how I'm working in this case, I have like very stupid workaround how I work with this kind of modules in this case if I need to rotate them, because I still prefer when I do not need to create this pivot in the middle of the rotatable thing. It's very stupid pipeline, but this works kind of okay. So what I do, for example, I want to rotate around this object. I create and I know that I need to rotate on, for example, 400. Then I can parent this one to this one, and I do this. Super stupid. Like usually I can use even like cube. Not very smart, I know. And you also can use modeling mode in Unreal to create radial array. I just do not like the UI, so for me it's really easier to do just this. As I said, I don't think it's smart. It's very practical. So, yay! I have a module, and now I can just replace it on another meshes. I do not like this. Just for spoiler, I do not like this. Okay, so why is this module, by the way, looking so awful? Because it does not have any vertex painting, and right now, because we have, I also use baked ambient occlusion in my materials for shading. So if we go here, you see, as a last step, I'm taking my ambient occlusion and using as a multiplicator on top of my existing ambient occlusion. And because how Unreal works currently, this is affecting GI. So when I have aggressive GI, it's affecting the whole mesh. So let's rebake this one again. Otherwise, you see it has some issues. And while I can go back here, which was pre-processed, and summate curve. So you see this one, you see like white less polygons, no difference at all, like in Meskin. I think we can go even lower, but you still, why you need some okay topology? Mostly to save some curvature information. So this is becoming a question to pipeline. Do you want to have your curvature into your vertex painting that data or not? And we remember that we had here the problem with this offsetting geometry. This is question how to fix it. So maybe we can just cut it and push a little bit of polygons. So maybe we can do just a little bit of this, right? So you see, like, there are different options how you can clean up this geometry, and this will be fine. For example, delete hidden. No more distorted geometry. I think this is something what I should personally solve on mapping and tileable texture, because right now just cutting this geometry can cause issues with modularity, and that we will have a seam here, which is not great. So maybe, yeah, this is not the smartest way. Maybe what I will do, I will go to projection and like move plaster a little bit here, not to have this kind of corners. Yeah, let's not rush this one. It's not the smartest decision just to cut. It was my first intention, but then I think about it. Yeah, it's better. It's better to solve it on model, not like that. Medieval preset, medieval vertex paint. X. Okay, bake again. Go to this module. Well, yeah, I will replace this module off stream. Mostly, I wanted to show you like the whole process. And that's exactly how I'm doing almost all the pieces. For example, this. Let's go to this module. I think in this case it's worked greatly. You see, I have this like new stone, and I have like not too much geometry, plaster, mask of this plaster, and this looking very good. And now I want to work on this piece. This will be more classical one. I want to like just place a little bit of here. I'm not planning to do anything crazy with this one. So not all my pieces will be completely insane. And as I said, these modules also have mesh paint set up. So I'm interested, like, why am I like push of the geometry here so intense? Seems I was a little bit. Oh, what I want to do sometimes with this geometry, I'm doing a couple of additional steps. So because we done a lot of distortion of normals, sometimes it's better to recalculate normals in Unreal. So not a big deal here, but sometimes it can be pretty visible that you have some change. Because like you mostly like recalculating normals, and sometimes it can affect the visual. And as I said, yeah, I also have mesh paint set up here, which I will show in a second. Because like right now, this is not final setup, because I need to click add mesh paint to get it right. Okay, so let's check that our second UV channel set up correctly. So this, no, it's not set up correctly. So this is funny that on Epic recommend to use generate light map UVs for second UV channel. This is really funny because yeah, old tech but still valid. And you see right now second UV channel not working properly. Not sure why. Maybe this triangle is causing the issue, or maybe something from these meshes. Let's check, because how Unreal work with generate light maps. It's not UV. It's like repacking. So if any of your UVs are not good, so for example, I don't think there are any big distortions, right? No, I think this causes the issue. No, this looks correct. That looks correct, and even you looks correct. Mostly. At least not these kind of like problem levels. Yeah, mostly in this case. This causes the issue. Yeah, so this is another reason maybe why not to do this offset. Okay, so yeah, this is something what I'm still experimenting about. Okay, we have this mesh, so why not to use new mesh? Because we know that this is better. So we can just re-export this one. So you see, like as I said, like it's not completely automatic, but the process is mostly flexible. Now we have lighter mesh. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, I will go to setup of this. This is what making me very confused. If these are correct, why it has this one here? If these UVs are correct, right? Seems here it's fine. And it has only one UV set, right? Then UV, yes, UV map. It should be fine. Well, let's just very fast unwrap it. Maybe it has some issue which I am not aware. Mark seam. No. Mark seam. I think this will be all right. Unwrap. Much better. And let's fix texel density for this one. Then UV texel density. Yeah, it's pretty big stone, so for this one I think we're doing this, right? Not right. Why it's acting this weird? Yeah, this is something what I will need to think about, how to better do it, but for now it's fine. It's better this way, but I'm more concerned about this one. First of all, do we need to have these two seams here? I don't think so, right? So let's layer the seam here. And okay, so I had good intention here from what I see. Let's only... So it's not completely random offset, because initially it was looking for me that I done pretty random. So for something like that, what I would like to do to work with something like that properly, to create another tileable texture without stones offsetted, because right now this offsetted stones creating this kind of seam issue, which is not great, and I would like to avoid it. Also, let me check. This is texel density which I want. Yet. Strange. Okay. Let's go to this shell, select all, set texel density, so stones are smaller. Do I want to map it in quadrify? Yes, I want. And we can do this. So you see, it has this like seams issue still. Almost none of it, but this is not how this is assembled in real life, which I do not like. We can live with this, but yeah, not huge fan. This one, as I said, we can delete because now we have new mesh. Delete this one. And let's import. Which now twice lower or lighter, better to say. 70. Do I want to try to clean up this one? or it will be mistake. Will I regret about cleanup or not? Also, this is something what I can be aware about. So you see, my offset is very intense, and like that's why I'm not deleting initial plane, because you do not want to offset this too much. So I think that's one of the cases in this plane currently, that I offsetted it a little bit too much, because on stream I like can forget about some things, and I'm feeling that I use a little bit too high intensity for my offset, and I have my default settings a little bit different. So I would move this one a little bit inside, because otherwise what will happen, it will not be aligning properly. Yes, we have some thickness gap here, especially like if it will be covered properly, but you need to be careful, right? Right now this is a little bit too much. Let's go to my settings. I think my settings for this, yeah, you see, I'm almost sure my displacement settings much less. No, well, I'll have displacement on. Yeah, you see, my initial displacement intensity 0.05, and I have been used displacement 0.1. So this is like twice more aggressively displaced than my initial displacement at the bottom. And you see, because of that stone looking a little bit too eroded. It's fine, it's not that big deal, but it will be better if I have done it with the same settings all the time. Well, we can live with this, as I said. So add to the group. So now this again, all in one group. But we will fix this moment. Overall, you see, yeah, I think right now I aligned everything much better. I'm not worried about this thing for now. Well, first of all, I can delete material here if I will feel that I want to, because I will cover this with arch, so I do not care about hole here. And I'm not care about what's happening on the upper part, because it will be covered with this panel later in the design. So overall, like this area, I'm planning to cover it with metal to have a little bit like Warhammer vibe, because right now there are not enough metal in the whole thing. So yeah, we can live with this module, even it's not like perfect. We still can live with this module just for this sake. So we check the UVs, we check the model, so everything should be pretty clean now. And let's go to our stuff. Okay, Blender export is very fast. I was waiting it will be much worse. Reimport now. Because why it's important to have the same settings across the whole modules, because this causing the issue that my ambient occlusion in one module more aggressive than in another module. My ambient occlusion plaster blending is more aggressive. So you see, it's not the same happening across the whole different. Oh yeah, I forget. Let's fix this one. Sadly, ZBrush cannot do not have proper material management, so we need to suffer a little bit. But what I can check here, what's happening with UV? Are UV fine? Yes, you see, now UV fine, we don't have UV artifacts, so we will have mesh paint working properly. Yay! Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh my god, I clicked something and everything broke. Why? I clicked F. No idea what caused it. Okay. Reimport here, reimport there, blah blah blah. So I'm not sure I will have time today to show what I was planning to do with columns. So with columns, what I'm doing design, and then I'm displacing this design. So you see, this is displaced. So I'm doing like mapping, I'm doing a trim, I'm doing displace, and then I can sculpt on top. And this kind of saves a lot of time because sculpting this from scratch can be Not fun and pretty time consuming, but when you have like base for a sculpt. So you see, I started to use it very often as a base for sculpting. Yeah, I think. Yeah, for example, this one. So initial mesh is this one. I done design in designer, and then I'm displacing this, and I have very good base which I can use, like a lot of good moments. So yeah, I see again a lot of benefit just to save time. Yes, of course I can carefully model it and then damage, but why if I can save time? So, and also when you are using this with the height map in designer, you can there are a lot of very nice reuse and time saving which you can develop. Okay, so now we can rebake it. As I said, this is good moment in the pipeline. It's acting like it requires this click, but at least it's flexible. And as I said, like you can find optimization, but I'm not sure there is optimization possible except using Goodie. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted. You see, now it's more clean. No UV case. Yeah, this module is what I wanted, and that's how you see. Like, I know that like when I'm showing this like piece by piece, it's looking, yeah, it's dirty. This one is dirty, like. But you see, like on the scene, it's looking awesome. Like that's that's the main point. That like maybe stage by stage it can look like very weird, but the goal is to get like proper final result. And yeah, mesh paint. Just will show you the module, and then we'll do this in level instance. Let's go to mesh paint. We go to shift 4, add mesh paint. So you see now it's clean, and I can remove some of the things which I do not want to be. Strength lower, this higher. So you see this mesh paint for this one, what it's doing. I'm adding a little bit, you see, plaster in cavity. So this plaster is not geometry based, so it's just for blending. You see, if I want to have a little bit more blending of my plaster in the cavity, I can do this with mesh paint. This is done by red channel. Green channel is dirt. I want to have like this dirt around the corners. I will describe you. Yeah, well, let's call it describe you, but I will show you mostly like why I'm doing it this way, why I'm painting this one. Okay, great. So you see, much better. Blue channel, I think it's this material I'm not using for now. Yeah, you see, blue channel, nothing happening because I haven't done anything. We will see what I will do with this one. But what's great? You can save it. Great, it works. And now you can click copy. So you copied mesh paint from this texture, from this object. And let's go to our level instance. Let's go to this wall and mesh paint and paste. So you paste this mesh paint which you done on another mesh into this one, which is again great. Nice. We can do the same with this one, and shift 4, add, paste. Great, working. And now I can create a variation. Maybe I do not want this one to be so dirty, because I do not want, and like why? Because we want to create variety in these meshes, because they have same geometry, so they can look repetitive. So texture blending is something what we can use to remove this repetition. So maybe this one will have, yes, it's super aggressive. Nice. Yeah. And this like plaster. Of course I need to work on the inside part, but mesh paint is saved, so I do not care that I right now done it and then need to rework it later because it's saved, so it's not a big deal. And boom, now we have it. Now we have our good module, and like Are they looking too repetitive? Not really. Like, I think this is not the best situation when you see them like just like that. But I don't see like super visible repetition even when they have the same geometry. Repetition not that recognizable. So yeah, kinda not bad. And that's a pipeline. That's the pipeline for this one. So now I need to do this module, rotate it, and is it given a lot? This is the main question, right? Is it given enough to justify? Looks so cool. Yeah, like, and as I said, like the question is like, is it justified to have this compared to this? For me, yes. But I'm free to disagree. And as I said, for example, on this bottom part, how you can break a little bit of repetition. Again, very like this is like old trick as universe that you're taking a brick, taking it here, moving, placing, and you can, especially like later, I will do material pass because I think shape is fine, but material pass is something what I can improve. And like we just place these two bricks, nothing more. We do not need a lot. Just to break this repetition if you do not like it. So you see, because you have plaster, now you can take a couple of the bricks, drop them in the plaster, and they will create this kind of break of repetition effect. And this, as I said, like that's why I do not care about. You see, all these seams, everything, what I mentioned, doesn't really visible. That's why I do not really care about it, because this is my modules very dedicated to this design, right? I can imagine that it will not work so great if I will not be following my design. But for this, I think it's fine. Now I have cool module, and I will continue doing all these modules this way. Some of them will have, as I said, like I think I need. Is the material on this stone model coming from the tileable stone texture, or does it have its own unique material? No, nothing here has its own unique material. Everything in the scene well, not everything, but almost everything, using the same tileable material, which I showed before, which is how it's called, MI stone wall base. So you see, MI Stonewall base, there are no even level instances of each other because all my control happening in vertex painting. So the whole scene use the same material, and if I understand how nanite work correctly, one material in the whole scene pretty beneficial. The only thing where different material happening is here. You see, it's using Stonewall bot A. Because here set up a little bit different, because in real life stone walls at the bottom of the rock a little bit different. So you see here I use this kind of like small stones blending. This is a little bit better. I polished. What is this? Who are you? Why are you here? We'll get rid of you later. You see, like this one a little bit more clean setup, less noisy, like, but it uses the same logic that I have small stones, big stones, and plaster. Just different stones blended and different height maps. Interesting stuff happening here. It's almost using the same logic, but a little bit different. The biggest difference here is that it's using, you see, MI stone surface A. So surface A, it's my experiment where you're using stone surface. So I'm using this, and I'm using this as blending. I think I will rework this one a little bit later. This is just starting point. And it's still using this blending, so I'm still displacing the rock, still blending the plaster with real geometry, still using the masking, but here I do not care about tiling. So you see, it's working great. Like this really working really good. You see, like a lot of detailing, a lot of plaster. Plaster, it does not like, especially like if you will check real life plaster, it does not really have so soft transition. So even that it has like these harsh lines of transition, it's working like in real life. And still it has like damaged edges, you see? Like damaged edges are not non-uniform. And I think with these stone surfaces, I will follow in this one. Why just stone surface and not stone tile for this one? because this kind of thing in real life are very flat. All not very flat, but much more flat compared to stone walls, because stone walls have pretty aggressive silhouette. When something like that, I do not want to be too noisy. That's why I'm using on this one just stone surface. And in general, do you plan to upload this stream to your YouTube channel? It will be going to my English-speaking YouTube channel. Yes, I think because I have recorded, I'll be duplicating it, and it will be going to my English-speaking YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm not planning to delete this one, and I think it's kind of hope for my second channel to have a live. That's something that happens there. Okay, so I don't think are there any questions? Today it was a little bit too much lecture. Next time I hope to work a little bit more. Initially, because I want to solve gate. As I said, the main reason why I want to solve gate, because I want to have something finished. Why aren't you streaming there then? YouTube is worse for promotion than Twitch. And it gives me opportunity to cover. And also, I really do not like UI of YouTube for streaming currently. Like, people missing streams on YouTube very easily. How they moved this to live section, I do not like it. When Twitch can be more dedicated to streaming, and like more platforms is better, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I just why not to experiment if I have option, because this is new platform for me. It would be great if you did this stream regularly. So right now I cannot. I will be trying to have English speaking stream once per week, once per month at least. If I can have it more, I will try. Cannot promise. But at least once per month is something what will be my starting goal. Yeah, like this will be my starting goal, to have it one more time, once per month. If you like it, subscribe, write to me, like just be vocal. Like, if I understand that people are interested, I will have it more often. It's like, stream usually for me means that I'm less productive and I need to talk more. Talk more for me, not the problem. I can, but that's for example, today I just done one wall. If I would be working without stream, I maybe will do 2 walls and a little bit more clean. So I have no issues with that. I just saying that and also some work, for example, designing of the gate, I need to do in silence sometimes, because when I'm doing design work, I need to be dedicated. It's hard to be distracted. But in general, like if I understand that there are like people who are watching this, I will be happy to have it more often. And yeah, today we covered a lot of things. I think castle looking pretty cool. I'm still not sure about colors. Are you thinking of doing different project besides medieval, like sci-fi? In general, like, first of all, I want to cover this project first. It's pretty big one. It's not fast. Optimistically, like, I have dream. I want to end this in September. I will not finish this in September if I want to live. So mostly I will finish this project closer to October, November, if I will be realistically. It's castle, it's bridge, additional design, and surroundings in the forest. If I want to be realistically, with the amount of time needed for sculpt statues, just like sculpting this thing will require a lot of time. Realistically, I'll finish this something in November is realistic. If I will be, and pessimistically, like, before Christmas. So after this project, I have my steampunk project. So, and I really want to focus on that one. Or about sci-fi, I had something in mind. I would like to do retro sci-fi one day. So yeah, like there is a lot of ideas, not a lot of time. Maybe this is the biggest issue. And so yeah, I will right now medieval be for a while I will not finish the castle. I will not be switching behind I saw your sci-fi project. Which one? When I last time done sci-fi project? Not finished in Twitter. Well, not finished projects. Let's forget about it. Okay, I think for today it was quite productive one. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, subscribe, write something, because for me right now, any kind of engagement really critical. Otherwise, why I'm doing this. So if you have any comments to me, like any recommendation, what I can do, write to me again. Pleasure to watch you. Thanks. Hello. I see a lot of great people here. So take care, you too. Have a great week. Thursday and Friday, and after that rest. So I wish you a great day, great evening, regarding your time zone. It was Sergey, Leoluch, and check my art station if you want. Bye bye.